Once upon a time, Silicon Knights was one of the most respected developers in the industry. They gave us Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, one of the most unique horror games ever made. And they even remade Metal Gear Solid for the GameCube. But within a decade, the studio would collapse in lawsuits, fail games, and burn bridges, so what the hell happened? The year is 1992, and Dennis DeYoung from Canada decided he wanted to form his own game development company. And so he created Silicon Knights, with their first ever game called Cyber Empire for the Atari ST and Amiga and IBM PC. The game was then picked up by EA in Europe and Strategic Simulations in the States. From there, they created a D&D licensed game for Fantasy Empires in October of 1993. And soon after that, they created Dark Legions, a PC online multiplayer game. These first two games got them critical acclaim in a time when multiplayer games meant they had to be directly dialed into another modem to play with other players, unlike today. Soon they created a game that would become huge, and that was Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, which was originally called The Pillars of Nazgûl on the Panasonic 3DO. However, Legacy of Kain was often thought to be made by either Silicon Knights or Crystal Dynamics. Then, in 1998, gaming giant Nintendo soon wanted to sign with Silicon Knights, which was when they created two titles: Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, and Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, which was then ported to the GameCube. However, in 2004, Nintendo and Silicon Knights soon parted ways, and the following year Sega took some interest in Silicon Knights and wanted to partner with them, which this partnership never happened. Soon they really didn't have a partner. That was until they struck a deal with PC giant Microsoft to create their next big hit, 2 Human, which was actually started when they still were with Nintendo, but was shelved so they could continue creating Eternal Darkness and Metal Gear Solid. But when their parted ways with Nintendo and went to Microsoft, they revisited 2 Human, which was then created for the PlayStation and became part of a trilogy. But due to poor reception sales, only one game was put out, and the idea of adding 2 more games was then shit-canned. During that time that they were creating 2 Human, they also had to deal with legal issues with another massive developer, Epic Games, over the engine of Unreal 3. Silicon Knights claimed that Epic failed to give them adequate support for the engine, while Epic was using the licensing profits to create Gears of War, which then Epic countersued. Soon they stopped using Unreal Engine in favor of creating their own engine to finish 2 Human and future projects. In 2011, they soon partnered with Activision Blizzard to create X-Men Destinies, which again was met with poor sales and reviews. They also later accused of using the funds that were supposed to be for X-Men Destinies to secretly create a sequel to Eternal Darkness, all the while dealing with a lawsuit with Epic still, which they ended up losing due to the fact that some code that was used for both 2 Human and X-Men Destinies, which was created in their own engine, actually still used large amounts of code from Unreal 3. With the court filing any unsold copies of the game to be destroyed, and since the release of X-Men Destinies, the majority of Silicon Knights employees, which included the founder, Dennis DeYoung, had all left the company, and what was left of it was all left in legal appeals to Epic's court victory. By 2013, Silicon Knights was basically no more. With layoffs and projects canned, Dennis DeYoung tried to create a new company with precursor games, but that didn't take off too well. Today, Silicon Knights, once remembered for Legacy of Kain, is now remembered for their catastrophic fall from grace. So that is what happened to Silicon Knights, from Eternal Darkness to 2 Human, from Nintendo's golden child to a cautionary tale and lawsuits. What do you think? Was it bad luck, bad management, or a little of both? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more gaming history. Until then, I'm Professor Retro saying peace out and stay frosty.